Hey everyone, welcome to A Great Alternative. In today's video, episode number 11 of the Cordage from Foraged Fibres series, I'm going to be showing you how to make cordage from rhubarb. So, today's going to be a little bit different for two reasons. First up, I've already made the cordage, partly because, the second reason, I got it from here. So I harvested it from here. I'll get onto where I am at the end of the video, but I harvested it from here, have made the cordage, and then I thought it was a nice place. It's a beautiful day. I was here anyway. Again, I'll get into that in a bit. So yeah, why not? Therefore, first up, you know the score already, I'm not going to get into that. First up, let's tell you a bit more about what this is, culinary rhubarb. Rhubarb belongs to the genus Rheum, which encompasses a diverse group of perennial plants native to Asia. The species most commonly cultivated for its edible stalks is Rheum rhubarbarum. This species is characterized by its large fleshy leaves and long red or green stalks that are prized for their tart flavor. It also belongs to the family Polygonaceae. Although the stalks are a tasty staple, the large triangular leaves contain high levels of oxalic acid and anthrone glycosides, which makes them toxic and inedible. Culinary rhubarb has small flowers that are grouped in large compound leafy greenish white to rose red inflorescences. In temperate climates, rhubarb is one of the first food plants harvested, usually in mid to late spring, April to May in the northern hemisphere, October to November in the southern hemisphere, and the season for field-grown plants lasts until the end of summer. In the United Kingdom, the first rhubarb of the year is harvested by candlelight in forcing sheds, where all other light is excluded, and this practice produces a much sweeter, more tender, and more sought-after stalk. Botanically, rhubarb is classified as a vegetable because its edible parts are the stalks, which are modified leaves. However, in culinary context, rhubarb is often treated as a fruit due to its sweet, tart flavour profile. The leaf stalks can be used raw while they have a crisp texture, but are most commonly cooked with sugar and used in pies, crumbles, and other desserts. But it can also be put into savoury dishes, pickled, or dehydrated and infused with fruit juice. In the United States, it is usually infused with strawberry juice to mimic the popular strawberry rhubarb pie. Rhubarb can also be used to make alcoholic drinks such as fruit wines or Finnish rhubarb sima, like a mead. Rhubarb that's been damaged by severe cold should not be eaten, as it may be high in oxalic acid, which migrates from the leaves and can cause illness. So if you've seen one of these videos before, obviously I delve a bit more into how to make a cordage. I'm not going to do that today, but what I am going to talk about is the finished cordage, because I actually tried 3 different variations of rhubarb cordage. Firstly, which was actually done last season, was from a very old woody rhubarb that was on my stepdad's allotment. So therefore I thought, oh, okay, perfect as a first attempt to do some rhubarb cordage. And I made some with the skin and with the innards of the rhubarb.
This is the rhubarb plant. It's approximately 4 years old. It's very late in the season to be picking rhubarb, and because of that, all the stalks are what is called woody, which means basically hard and old, really, and shouldn't really be used for eating. So, perfect for using for other crafts. So I'll go ahead and I'll take these off now. And to do that, we take it right from the base of the plant. You see there, you see it comes away like that, like that, like that. There it is. And we'll repeat that on several other stems. Okay? Again, go to the base and out to the side. I'm now going to cut the leaves off the rhubarb stalks. You can't normally use these, they are poisonous, and you shouldn't even put them into compost because it can poison the compost, but if they're left long enough then they become good compost. So just simply straight through with a sharp knife and take off just below the actual leaf, just like this, okay? and I'll continue through till I just finish these.
To prepare the woody rhubarb, like with most fibres that you're preparing for cordage, I try to just split them and strip them and rip them down into the thinnest possible working fibres that I could. I did find this a bit challenging. Some of it ended up way too thick, some of it just kind of fell apart. But I think this was the plus from trying to make the fibres from the woody rhubarb, because the inside was so dry and I guess, you know, not fresh and lovely and full of water. What that meant is it was actually easier to strip down and separate into all the as thin of fibres as I can. And that's what I've got here. These fibres have now been fully dried. They're not the longest. Obviously that depends on how long the stalk is that you're harvesting, and also whether it breaks, which some of this did when I was preparing it. But overall, I found it quite easy to make cordage from these with the methods used in others, probably because I've made so much now out of leaves and things that are only like this length that when I get cordage that's sort of 30 centimeters or more, it feels like, oh, it's a dream, it's brilliant. Before I get onto what I think about the end results of the cordage, I'll get onto the cordage out of this rhubarb here. So this was made of this skin of the rhubarb because I had in my head, and one of the inspirations for this series is the channel Foraged Fibres, and they made some rhubarb cordage. It was lovely and pink and vibrant, and I thought, oh, I want some of that. So that was my goal with this. So what I definitely tried to do was really thin it down, and I was trying to get the tiniest little strips that I could, and then I ended up making a cordage that was quite thin, partly because I only used 2-3 stalks to make this amount, which is probably about, I think I end up making about that much each time. So what's that? 7 foot. It's not 7 foot. But in regards to making the cordage in preparation, like I said, it was the same for both of them, stripping it down. They were dried inside. I would say they maybe took about, if you left it for a week, that would definitely be enough. However, I have seen another inspiration for this channel, Sally Pointer, do a video about rhubarb cordage, and she actually left it so it was almost semi-green. So I think she'd only left it for like the day or a few hours. So it doesn't mean you have to let it fully dry. It just helps if you've let it fully dry, then you soak it again, like with any fibres, it helps to not shrink so much when it dries the final time, if that makes sense. So what do I think of the cordages, the finished cordage? Well, first up, let's talk about my favourite, the best one, obviously, well, for me, please comment down below if you disagree, but for me, the best one is the stuff made out of the really vibrant red to pink. This has actually changed colour. It was a lot more pink when I first did it, and I would say it's more purple now. It's not really very red. It's not very warm. It's a cooler tone now, but rare, and that's why I love this. So if you want, grow some rhubarb, force it by candlelight because that makes it really red. It also makes it really sweet. Take the skin off, it will taste lovely, and then you'll get cordage that's this bright, lovely kind of purple red colour. Overall, I would use this stuff for aesthetic, artistic, decorative purposes, because why not? Use the fact that it's got that lovely colour in something that's going to get seen. Then, with the others, overall, and that's the same with the skin from this plant, the skin is more flexible once it's dried. In future videos, I'm going to go into potentially using waxes or other kind of finishes that might help with flexibility, but overall, this is literally just the cordage. It's been wet with water, and then I've made it, and that's it. So no other product has been put into these. And yeah, the skin is more flexible than this stuff. However, oh, okay, I was about to say, I think this is stronger, but maybe not. Let's do a quick test. Ah, okay. Not super strong. This might be because it's dry. It might be because that the innards of this rhubarb, it's fibrous, but it also has a lot of extra to it, if that makes sense. So it's not purely made out of those fibres, which I feel like the skin feels a bit more like that. So that might be why this is drier, a bit more brittle, and not so strong. To be totally honest, that's kind of the same with the skin. Yes, it's a bit more flexible, but not really. So what would I use these two for? Oh, well, and also you can see the color's not really the same. When I first did it, for both of these, it had a bit more pink. This definitely had a bit more pink in it, and it definitely, with this, both the skins and more so with the skins, weirdly, than these. However, it's still there. It's kept a bit of that rhubarb smell. So that's something else that I think is really cool, and you know, maybe a reason that you use it because you're tying it maybe around some herbs or Christmas decoration or something where people might fondle it and smell it. And Alicia certainly like this. A lot of the time she's sort of, oh, it stinks, don't like it. But the rhubarb cordage, she was like, oh, I like that because it has that, yeah, that lovely sweet smell. Other than that though, what would I recommend to use these for? Honestly, probably something similar. Yes, the colour's not great, you know, as in it's not very rare. A lot of things are this kind of browny yellow, but it's not a great cordage for practical uses. So therefore I would use them on something that's not then going to get, I don't know, undone and done up and undone and done up, or something that's taken a lot of weight, because it's not going to do very well, I don't think. Overall, what do I think? If you've got woody rhubarb and it's not getting used anyway, why not? It's a nice cordage to use and it smells quite nice, especially when you're making it. Would I recommend making cordage out of lovely pink, fresh rhubarb? 100%, definitely, definitely. This is probably one of my top 3, basically just because of the colour. If you are interested, obviously there's not only this whole series, but I've been making cordage cheat sheets, which are kind of like well, it's a cheat sheet. I don't know why I was about to deep dive and tell you more about what it is. It's a cheat sheet, so it's this video put into one page. If you want to access that, that's on our Patreon. Again, links down below, or I'll leave it at the end. But for today, thanks again everyone, and I will leave you with one thing I also wanted to say before we go is I just wanted to say thank you to Black Mountains College. So where we are here is in Talgarth in Wales, and it's a college that I've been doing quite a lot of work with over the past year, all kind of photography, videography, and I contacted them because this and all the different range of courses is something that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, so it just so happened I was filming here a little while ago, and the kind lady who is sort of running the farm behind me said, sure, take some rhubarb, go for it. So I was like, oh, okay, brilliant. So that's why I wanted to come back and just, yeah, introduce you to Black Mountains College. If you're interested in doing, they do like horticulture, coppicing, green woodworking type stuff, and a whole host of different kind of land management and courses that are to do with, yeah, climate crisis that we're in at the moment and ways of dealing with it, but also not necessarily just in a very specific way. Personally, I mean, you know, I've worked with them, I'll be totally honest, but I do think they're a great college. So I'll put a link down below in the description if you're interested in, yeah, having a look at some of their courses. Cool.